Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm dating coach Naz, and in today's video, I wanted to get into why women start controlling and mothering you. And I'm not gonna lie, I have definitely been this person, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna be authentic and real. And I also want to kind of call some women out. I mean, a lot of women out because we do have this pattern of falling in love with a man's potential, our fantasy, than what is actually the person that is in front of us. And again, a lot of the programming from Disney, movies, the tall, dark, handsome man in shining armor, all of these things that have been programmed into our mindset. You want to create a family and get married and all of these things. We are then stuck in this mindset of trying to manifest this dream rather than really getting to know the man and his weaknesses and his flaws and accepting him for who he is. If he's somebody that doesn't truly compliment you at the very beginning when you're dating him, then he most probably is not going to change that later down the line. I know this is just a random example, but we have to really see people for who they are. When people show you who they are, you got to believe them. You cannot think that once you have a child with somebody, once you get married, they're suddenly going to be the best person on the planet. That's not the way it works. And I had to learn the hard way. So just letting you guys know. Now I want to get into, before I get into this, I also wanted to add that as women, when we do this, we unfortunately, when we get into the relationship, when we're dating, our standards are really low and our expectations are super high. So that is where the friction begins, because you haven't set those standards from the very beginning. So the man is not going to be able to, meet those expectations because they're super high. And it's actually meant to be the opposite. You're meant to have really high standards at the very beginning. And when you get into a relationship, you need to have lower expectations of the person. And I'm not going to get too deep into that, but that's what I wanted to add. And also, a lot of women, what we do is we tend to, and I've definitely done this as well, we tend to, if the man is not adding up to our potential, to our dream man in, the dark, man in shining armor, then we tend to gaslight him. We tend to make him feel like crap. And that's not fair on a man, because a man is showing you who he is and you are choosing to not believe it. So that's on you. The reason why I wanted to get into this also is because I want to share with you a woman's psychology and maybe just kind of share with you what she is thinking about when she tends to mother you. And not to say it's correct, but this is just her side. All right. So the first point is that if she's with a man who's indecisive, that basically makes her step up and get into that masculine role, which she does not want to. Women do not like to do this. And when you don't take the lead as a man, she feels forced to do it, even if she doesn't really want to. I feel like women sometimes they don't trust the man from the very beginning. So there's things that they see, they're like, that's a weird decision. Why would you do that? Or maybe you do notice these signs from the very beginning, like, oh, he's kind of a gambler. He doesn't really invest his money. He doesn't know what he's doing. You know all of these things, but you still tend to get in a relationship with a man like that. And then, of course, again, he doesn't add up. He doesn't meet your fantasy. So that's when you get triggered and you start to become more masculine in the relationship and tend to step up and make those decisions. And the second point is if you are ignoring her opinions. This is a big one. This really does fuels frustration in a woman. And it's just not asking her input basically makes her feel invisible and leads her to take control, because in a leadership is not just about I'm leading and you're going to be a follower. I mean, there are certain leaderships that are like that, but a genuine woman who has something to add to the table, and she genuinely does want you to ask her questions. She wants you to get her input and have that, conversation. So she also feels like she's part of something, instead of just saying, I'm going to do everything and you sit back and let me handle this. right? I mean, there's instances where you need to be the leader and be the man, and that's completely fair. But if you continuously ignore how she feels and her opinions, then she's going to feel invisible in the relationship, and vice versa. If you're with a woman and she continuously tends to ignore, what you're saying to her, and she's just doing whatever the hell she wants, how is that going to make you feel? Not that great. And lastly, a man who avoids responsibility, okay, triggers the mothering in a woman. And it's kind of like if you act like a kid, basically, whether it's emotional or practical. When you don't take responsibility and accountability for how you are showing up in the relationship, the woman is going to start getting anxiety, because then it's like, if you can't even take accountability in this relationship, what are you going to do outside of the relationship? And it's going to make her get into the fight, flight, panic state. And also, as with relationships, it's a slow burn, right? So it might happen a couple of times. You might avoid taking responsibility. She might avoid confronting that, but slowly, there is a buildup. And depending on the kind of woman she is, either she's going to blow up or she's going to directly want to fight you, in that moment. So taking responsibility really comes from not being ego-driven, not being dismissive to how somebody else feels, and not shutting down when somebody's really trying to connect with you. As a woman, when we feel like something is off, we are very intuitive. So we have to kind of get it out of our system and try to figure out a solution. Most women are like this. I know there's not all women are the same, but most of us, we want to figure out a solution so we can get more stronger and better as a team, in the relationship. And so when you dismiss us, when we are really at the core of it, we are just truly seeking a connection. And when a man shuts us down, it again then makes us feel like you're not really in this relationship. So she's like, okay, well, what am I doing in this relationship? What is my purpose? You get a little bit confused about that. And again, there's other emotions that come up, abandonment, which most probably she has felt in her childhood. And then either she's going to stay in something like this, because what we do as adults is we continue to repeat the patterns that are familiar to us, the dynamics when you were a child. And so either she's going to stay, but then at one point it's going to be a breaking point for her where she's going to be like, I am not taking this crap anymore. And either I'm going to leave, maybe I'm going to find another man, whatever she chooses to do. So this is where I'm saying that when a woman is trying to get a response, or she's trying to figure out a solution to a man, it looks like she wants to fight. This is going to be big. This is going to be a confrontation. It's like, I feel like men get into this depending on the man. Again, not every man is the same. And I understand that men do not want to have these confrontations. And I feel like women do need them a little bit more than men. But it's only because as women, because we are intuitive, we need to make sure the energies are right. And so that's why it's really important to change your perception on when a woman is trying to share with you how she's feeling, to really come from an understanding place instead of trying to run away and escape. Because again, when you escape, it doesn't just stop. It's going to keep following you the next day and the next day and the next day. So it's better just to figure out a way to work on this and build a better relationship with her. All right, so let's get into some statistics. 70% of women report feeling frustrated when their partner doesn't take initiative or lead in a relationship. 60% of women say they tend to take on a parental role in relationships when their partner is indecisive or avoids responsibility. Because as women, we can be leaders. We're great leaders, but we don't want to be, because we have an extra job here. We want to nurture you. We want to look after you. We want to look after the family. So we would rather have you do that. But then if you aren't able to take on that role, we have to step in. And it's not that fun, I know, for a man, because you're basically giving away your manhood to the woman. 80% of women in relationships with men who don't ask for their input say they feel ignored and less emotionally connected. Okay, so these are just some statistics that I just want you to keep in your mind, and maybe you can, reflect on it. And maybe if you're in a relationship right now, if you're dating, this is just something that I hopefully will open up your eyes a little bit more on how women are really thinking. And this is what I really want to do with this channel, is that I just want to break these black and white notions that men are like this and women are like this. I want to try to build a bridge where we can truly, come from a place of love and understand each other instead of start a war. Because wars, pointing fingers, blaming people, putting people down does not get us anywhere. We have seen that in the world. We consistently see that. And so that is my goal for this channel and for my presence in your life. Thank you for watching. And again, I want to say a big thank you to everybody out there who has subscribed to my channel, all my new subscribers, all the people that are finding me, and I'm just so grateful that I decided to follow my voice and my intuition and start this channel. And I'm not going to let the haters win. Okay. Also, I want to mention that I do offer free strategy calls for men who are struggling with dating, with relationships, with breakup, and they're truly are looking for support and guidance. I'm more of a truth seeker. When you speak to me, I'm going to mirror back to you what you really need to work on, and you're going to notice the last 5 years that you have wasted is ridiculous, and you are going to start moving with more intention and purpose after our call, because I like to create a plan and goals and an intention on where you're going in your life. So I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to see you guys out. I'm going to see you guys in my next video.